Next, it is shown that Myong had something else planned. He threw a piece of paper toward Jagang. It was the death sentence from the Jagal clan, which they only hand over to sworn enemies. He claimed that the moment Jagang would leave the Nanji village, he will be killed by the clan. Could have just killed him there, though. Just saying. Jagang accepts the challenge. Jagang then plans a new strategy in the village because this was a fight different from his previous ones. Meanwhile, Dan, the leader of the lesser sects, is notified about the situation. She laughs at Jagang's bravery and realizes the Jagal clan wants to strike the lesser sects as well. She prepares to meet them in the Nanji village. It is also shown that Guan receives a note from the wall of the whereabouts of the poison cripple. He heads for revenge in anger. The root of the Jagal clan's supply was attacked by ordinary bandits. They realized those were ordinary bandits. Meanwhile, Jagang is seen training for 3 weeks using the chain techniques. As he was walking by, a fortune teller calls him out. It appears the fortune teller is actually one of the lesser sect's members, and also Dan's henchman. He reveals to Jagang that the Jagal clan will attack the whole village and plan to strike the lesser sects as well. The Jagal clan is now ready to destroy the village along with Jagang. Dan's henchman explains the new order of the world to Jagang. He claimed that since the day Alliance was formed, they have been looking at the world only from the perspective of loss and gain. He said that mostly everyone who is a part of the Alliance is corrupt or only cares about their gain. Hearing this, Jagang claimed his battle is now against this new order of the world. He refused to go with the henchman. The guy bid him farewell. Just then, the Jagal clan attacked the village. They started to kill innocent villagers. Suddenly, there was an explosion. Jagang stood atop a house, ready to battle the army all by himself. After witnessing the inhumane acts of the Jagal clan, Jagang came to the realization that the world needed to be cleansed of such animals. He shouted that the villagers can escape from the path he made through the wall by the explosion. As the villagers escaped, the lesser sect members helped them. Meanwhile, the focus of the Jagal clan was now solely Jagang. They activated their deadly formation, the 9 castles and 8 front formations. The soldiers attacked Jagang on the rooftop, but he easily destroyed them using his chain techniques. He now fights the whole army in their formation. Next, we see Jagang kills many soldiers one by one. However, trapped in the formation, he is like a sheep being guided toward the gate of death. As he tries to think of a way to break the formation, he remembers the words of Shin on how to beat the Jagal clan. Just when the enemy had lured him close enough to the death gate, they all attacked him. However, Jagang suddenly disappeared from everyone's sight. Jagang finally realized the flaw in the formation. It is the existence of the life gate that exists between the shadow gate and the death gate. It is a blind spot in the formation of the soldiers. However, he realized he can only hide here and cannot escape. For this, he had planned something else. We then see soldiers at multiple gates getting killed by his traps. This confuses them, and he easily takes them out. Finally, he sees the exit to the village. As he approached it, someone appeared. It was no other than Quan, the tranquil dragon. He is now prepared to take revenge on Jagang. Meanwhile, at the Martial Arts Alliance headquarters, Li Zhong meets the leader of the Alliance. The leader warns him not to make irrational moves based on his emotions and his history with Dan, the lesser sect's leader. Just then, an informant comes running in, claiming that Master Guan was headed to Unnam. Back in the village, Guan confronts Jagang and swears to take his revenge. He makes a sudden attack toward Jagang and he is sent flying. Jagang realizes that this man is beyond dialogue. The fight now takes a serious turn. The ferocious battle continues. Quan completely overpowers Jagang with his strength. Jagang tried to use some sharp tricks, however, they are of no use against the silent dragon. Jagang lured him in, and after seeing and opening, he used the finger gale technique. However, it was not very effective and only damaged him a little. Quan claimed the real fight starts now as he drew his sword. Meanwhile, Li Zhong is furious as to who sent the location of the poison cripple to Quan. Li Zhong decided to leave for Unnam as he feared Dan would appear where Quan is. Just then, we see Dan standing at a cliff, and Mang Rio appears behind her, claiming he sent Quan here. Dan asked him to explain who he was. After revealing he was an advisor of the Alliance who worked under Li Zhong, Dan was furious. However, Mang explained to her that he is not on his side. He also claimed that the only gain he wants from everything is Jagang. Mang then starts with his story. Meanwhile, Quan and Jagang are giving everything they have got. Jagang thought he was slowly catching up to him. However, Quan started to overwhelm him. Quan claimed that Jagang was using a forbidden type of technique to win. They then clash with everything they have, and both of them were sent flying. However, Jagang successfully poisoned him. Quan then took the same poison resistance pill Yeon took. As he attacked Jagang again, Dan saved him and now took on Quan. Everyone referred to Dan as Yuhua, the maiden of unflattering righteousness. Yuhua then takes on Quan head-to-head. She defeated him in one strike and saw he was poisoned. Just then, the head of the Jaegal clan stepped into the fight. After a harsh conversation about the past, Jaegal Meong and Yuhua now fought ferociously. After a few strikes, Mang Ryo joined the fight with Yuhua. Next, we see that Mang Ryo used the unconscious Quan to manipulate Jaegal Meong, asking him to withdraw his troops. Just then, Jagang tries to poison Mang Ryo in the leg. Turns out, Jagang was unaware that Mang was alive and that his leg was already decapitated. Jagang goes into shock looking at Mang Ryo alive. However, he again stabs him in the stomach. Mang Ryo kicks him away. He then tells Yuhua that he will be taking Quan hostage, and in the meantime, she should take care of Jagang. Mang Ryo said they would exchange Quan and Jagang in the future. As he left, Yuhua prepared her fearsome technique to take out Meong. Next, we see that Yuhua has defeated Meong easily. The Bald brothers, who are the secret society's martial artists, arrive to help their lord. She instructs them to take Jagang with them to the hideout. Then, Jagang wakes up and sees a young girl bandaging her. He finds himself all stitched up. Yuhua told him to relax, as he is now in her secret base. She reveals to him that Mang Ryo was the one who used the forbidden blood berserk heavenly art on him. She also explains his body is different from others. Jagang explains his history with Mang Ryo. Yuhua wants Jagang to join the secret society. Meanwhile, Li Zhang gets to know about the events that occurred. He is extremely pissed off and claims to eradicate anyone who comes his way. Next, we see that Mang Ryo took Quan to the Tang family base. He is seen discussing with one of the members that they were the ones who created the poisonous drug which was supposed to cure people. Mang is then advised to meet the young lady of the Tang family while Quan recovers. Meanwhile, Yuhua does not put pressure on Jagang to join the secret society and gives him time to think about it. Jagang then meets with Payan, the henchman of Yuhua. Payan discusses with him the young girl that was bandaging him. He said her tongue was cut off by the poison sects. When Jagang showed anger toward them, Payan revealed that the ones who started the war were the medicine sects. Jagang is shocked. Payan narrates the story where the medicine sects almost defeated the poison sects. However, the Tang family came to the support of the poison sects, which led to the defeat of the medicine sects. Hearing this, Jagang is confused, and now he doubts his revenge journey. He fears that he may be committing a bigger crime than the poison sects did. Out of frustration, he also asked Soso, the young girl, to first aid him. She was heartbroken. The next day, Jagang is seen meditating and trying to control his chi. Yuhua helps him. She tells him to find out his purpose for revenge by exploring the world. Later, Jagang apologizes to Soso, and she is delighted. Meanwhile, Mang Ryo meets the young lady of the Tang family, Haran. Haran expresses her concern about the venom dragon becoming a nuisance in the Tang family's way. Mang Ryo explains that the Tang family should use the venom dragon as he has a lot of potential in him. Mang then leaves to plan something. Meanwhile, Jagang decides to go his own way and find his purpose by exploring. He takes Yuhua's advice. Everyone in the secret society farewells Jagang, and Soso gives him chi circulation pills as a gift. As he leaves, Yuhua reveals she received a letter from Mang Ryo for the exchange deal. Even though it is a trap for sure, Yuhua insists on going. Someplace else, Li Zhang suddenly appears behind Mang Ryo. Li Zhang obliterates Mang Ryo. He sends him flying to the rock wall and injures him badly. After asking the whereabouts of Quan, Li Zhang planned to kill Mang. Just then, Mang told him about his deal with Yuhua. This somehow extended his life. Meanwhile, Jagang senses someone is following him. He remembers the words of Yuhua in a flashback. She told him that Sichuan's Great Three will be after him and everyone will keep surveillance. She explained that the three great sects are the Tang family, the Chung sect, and the Emie sect. Jagang then spreads what looks like poison to cover his tracks. A young kid from the Chung sect collects it from the path and decides to report it back. It is then shown that this young kid was instructed by his master Bokchion, the sect leader. He wanted his disciple, Unjang, to observe the venom dragon. Eunjung collects the poison spread by Jagang, however. He lost track of him. He then runs away trying to find him. Meanwhile, Jagang goes to a restaurant to have a meal. Just when he was about to eat, Eunjung showed up. He confronted Jagang and revealed to him that he was instructed to follow and observe him. Eunjung was hungry and Jagang offered his food to him. However, Jagang said it was poisoned. It appears that the Tang sect's members were also present there and poisoned the food. Things between Eunjung and the Tang members become heated. The Tang members then leave for the time being because of the Chung sect's involvement. However, they warn Jagang. Eunjung still follows Jagang wherever he goes. He claims that until Jagang is in Sichuan, he will keep following him. Jagang asks him why he keeps his guard down. Eunjung claims that since he is a part of the Ching sect, no one will dare hurt him. Jagang realizes the strength of the sect. Meanwhile, it is shown that Haran from the Tang sect keeps an eye on the venom dragon. They plan to keep an eye on the venom dragon. Next, at Mount Loahan, Yuhua comes to meet Mang. She claims she is there to steal Quan. Mang is surprised. Mang asked if she had developed a sense of liking toward him. However, Yuhua claimed he wanted to walk a different path, so she let him go. Mang laughed from within, claiming that his plan to let Jagang live somehow worked. He then told Yuhua to take away Quan as he had no use for him. Just then, Quan attacked Yuhua along with Mang. The remains of the Jagal clan also appeared. It was a trap. At first, Mang appeared to have the upper hand, however, Yuhua then used her 5 Thunder Toad arts. She sent Mang Ryo flying. Quan was still determined to defeat her and attacked with all his strength. Just then, Mang shot poisonous needles toward her. Distracted by all this, Quan cut off her hand. Mang Ryo laughs at the despair of Yuhua. He warns her not to use the martial arts technique because the poison will make it worse. Just then, one of the Baldhead brothers grabs Yuhua and flies with her. The other brother fights the Jagal clan soldiers and acts as a sacrifice for their escape. They fall into a running river. Mang Ryo is angry and orders the soldiers to find them. Meanwhile, Eunjung and Jagang are seen traveling. Eunjung asks him multiple questions, and Jagang feels frustrated. While talking, Eunjung slips something confidential from his mouth. Jagang requests him to tell what it was. He then reveals that the secret society's base will soon cease to exist.
Hey, wait a sec. Are you subscribed? We'll make sure you do, and hit that notification button.
Meanwhile, Yu Wo and the bald-head martial artist come to rest out of the river. She uses a fire technique to seal her arm's wound. She is now more angered and focused on her revenge. Next, we see that Jagang immediately wanted to return to the base after hearing it will be attacked by the Alliance. Eunjung forcibly stopped him from using the sound arts. He rang a bell, and it immediately brought down the venom dragon. After struggling a lot, Jagang saw a snake and bit its head off. Using the venom of the snake, he escaped the sound arts. Just when Eunjung was about to get serious, the Tang sect's members stopped their fight with their arrival. The Tang clan's members claimed that the snake Jagang ate was the most dangerous possession of their clan. However, it would be an elixir for the one who is a master of the poison arts. Tang Haran claimed that Jagang is now under her debt, as she was the one who released the snake which saved his life. She let Jagang go and asked the disciple not to stop him from going to the base. It appears she was impressed by the abilities and potential of the venom dragon. Meanwhile, Eunjung follows him and now decides to help him get to the secret base and see things till the end. He is impressed by the determination of the venom dragon. Next, Yuhua and the bald head guy are seen collapsing in front of the secret base. So finds them there. Payan reported to her that the Alliance is planning to attack, and they are gathering together with the sects in Sichuan. Yuhua asks everyone to escape, and that she should be the one handling everyone. However, each member swears loyalty to her. Meanwhile, Li Zhang is seen presenting Yuhua's hand to the Alliance leader. However, he is not satisfied and asks him to bring the whole body next time. He also expresses his desire to meet Mang Ryo. Back at the base, the Alliance arrived and a battle was about to start. Yuhua attacks the leader, but a Buddha stops it. It appears it is the Imi sect's gentle touch Buddha, Mio Wol. Mio claims that the Imi sect is here only as observers. However, Mio claimed that if any deadly moves are used, then she will forcefully have to attack. The army of soldiers attacks the secret base members and a ferocious battle starts. Yuhua battles against Mio Wol. Mio uses a rusted sword that only cuts through things if there is killing intent in the user. Mio overpowers Yuhua and almost landed a strike. However, Yuhua dodged it. The soldiers ruthlessly start killing everyone in their sight. Just when the Buddha was about to end Yuhua, the Venom Dragon appeared and looks extremely angry. After witnessing the horrible massacre of the people he loves, he swears to kill everyone who appears in his path. He takes out the leader of the army present there with just a poisonous needle. He even killed a soldier by just his killing intent. Mio Wol jumped into action and now faces Jagang. Mio claims that all evil shall be erased and that there is great evil in Jagang. Just then, Unjung appears and calls out the Buddha nun, claiming that the Imi sect has forgotten the true way of the Buddha. We then see Unjung observing all the killings that had been done. He calls out to the Buddha, claiming that as an observer, she should minimize the killing and not become a killer herself. Mio Wol asks him to back off and let her finish the evil Venom Dragon. When Unjung refuses to back away, Mio Wol shows killing intent, which is too overwhelming for him. Seeing this as an opportunity, Jagang rushed forward to strike. However, Mio countered easily. Jagang was overwhelmed by her power. He decided to use poison, but right after that, he was sent flying into a wall. He takes a lot of damage. Jagang asks Unjung to escape away. He also asks him if he still thinks the minority should die. Unjung's perspectives appear to change after witnessing the ruthless murder and killing. However, he decides not to run away and help the Venom Dragon. He uses another sound technique to attack the Buddha. However, Mio Wol tears her eardrums herself. She attacks and injures Unjeong and is on a killing rampage. Just then, Yuhua communicates with Jagang and asks him to consume a rejuvenating circulation pill. Next, we see Jagang's power boost and deadly killer aura. Next, we see Jagang in a spiritual realm. Yuhua passes down the killer secret art that she possessed. The Jade Cavern's 9 illumination, 5-toed art. A rush of energy goes through Jagang. His pain goes away and he feels refreshed. With one strike, he sends a needle that goes through the sword of the Buddha and hits her in the eye. Just then, the other secret sect members join the fight to help Yuhua's army. The tables have suddenly turned. Mio Wol decides to retreat but swears to take revenge on the Venom Dragon. After the fight, Yuhua thanks Jagang to help the secret society. Jagang claimed that he wouldn't have been able to do so without her help. It appears that Jagang has finally understood his purpose in life, and he now plans to not let anyone hurt his loved ones while he also takes his revenge. The members abandon the secret base in fear of a counterattack from the Alliance. Jagang decides to go with them. Next, we see that Mang Ryo and other Alliance members appear at the base. They see that a few soldiers were spared by Yuhua. Mang Ryo was delighted to hear that the Venom Dragon had defeated the world-renowned nun Mio Wol. Just then, he is called by the Tang family's head, Hades. Next, we see that the secret sect members, along with Jagang and Unjung, are traveling in a carriage. Yuhua explains that the Jade Cavern's 9 illumination 5-toed art is a combination of demonic art and toad art. It was created by the leader of the Ching sect, Muam. Unjung is surprised on learning this. Just then, it is shown that 3 nuns from the Imie sect are following the sect and plan on attacking. However, they are stopped by Unjung's master, Bukchan. He manages to make them flee away and protect his disciple. Haran from the Tang clan appears and meets Bukchan. She claims her interest in Jagang's potential. Meanwhile, Mang Ryo meets the head of the Tang family in the Tang headquarters inner court, the ferocious Hades. The inner courts are shown to be a busy place for the Tang clan. All the decisions relating to the actions of everyone in Sichuan are passed from here. To seek attention, Mang shouted that the poisonous pills of the Tang clan were not effective enough. Hearing this, Hades gave Mang the White Tiger potion as thanks for bringing Quan. He claimed Quan was a good subject to be studied. Mang Ryo thought this was not sufficient enough and proposed something weird. He revealed that he wanted Lady Haran to get married to the Venom Dragon. Hades liked what he heard. He gave Mang an object which represented the support of the Tang clan. Mang picked it up and slammed it on the table, claiming Hades was a boring man. Next, we see that Hades was not provoked by such an action and only reminded Mang that the leader of the Alliance wanted to meet him. With this, Mang confirmed his authority and now freely planned many sinister things. Meanwhile, the secret society members are seen resting in a place for the night. Yuhua is meditating and Jagang visits her. She explains that learning the Jade Cavern's 9 illuminations 5-toads art will help him heal from the side effects of the Blood Berserk art. She also revealed that this is done by placing 9 gates inside the body. However, She has only mastered 5 of them, and the remaining teaching can only be given by the leader of the Ching sect. It is shown that Li Zhang is pissed at Quan and doesn't talk to him for long. He looks at the severed hand of Yu Hua. Meanwhile, Jie Gang announced that everyone will be heading back to Qingcheng Mountain. Everyone is shocked to hear this. Jia Gang explains that the enemies will not suspect anyone who is coming back to Sichuan, as they are assuming that the carriage will go outside of Sichuan. He then requests Un Zheyong to talk to his master if he would let them stay at Mount Qingcheng. As they start with their journey, they successfully fool the enemy and get past them. On the way, Yu Hua further explained the many basic principles of the Toad Art to Jia Gang. 2 days later, they reach Mount Qingcheng. They are stopped by Master Bukchan and Yu Hua meets him. He claimed that he had warned her not to cross paths again. He is now furious and the Venom Dragon steps in front. Bukchan recognized him. Next, we see that Bukchan started to yell at Un Zhang for being a foolish disciple. Since he blamed everything on the disciple, he gave Yu Hua and the others a small temple as a resting place. However, he marked a line that no one was to cross. Jie Gang then said this was not acceptable and that he must be responsible for everyone who was at Mount Qingcheng. Bukchan agreed, however. He said he wanted to test the Venom Dragon. He said that in 3 rounds, if Jie Gang did not move his foot, he will acknowledge him. Jie Gang barely passes round 1 and 2 after Bukchan used his deadly martial arts. At the start of round 3, Jie Gang attacked him using the Toad Art. Seeing this, Bukchan became furious. The 3rd round is seen to be a fierce one. Bukchan becomes serious and attacks Jia Gang violently. Seeing his opportunity, Jia Gang is able to get a poison needle pierced in his hand. This further provoked him, and he continued his barrage of attacks. However, when he stopped, Jie Gang claimed that he won. This is because Bukchan moved his foot unknowingly as his senses were dulled by the poison. He doesn't admit to defeat, however. He agrees to grant Jia Gang's request. Jia Gang is severely injured, and Yu Hua claimed he has worked hard so he should rest. Meanwhile, Manhwa reveals to Haran that she will now be a beautiful bride. He then shows her the groom. It was a creepy guy from the street. Haran strikes him down. Mang claimed that he will find another guy. He then showed her the Tang family's plague in his hand. With this, she could not deny his orders. He then gave her the White Tiger Potion and asked her to go to Mount Qingcheng and give this to Yu Hua, while also seducing the Venom Dragon for marriage. Haran is completely shocked. Meanwhile, at Mount Qingcheng, Jia Gang trains with Un Zhang and learns a lot. He discusses the situation of the poison in Yu Hua. He finds out this is the same poison from the poison resistance pill. Just then, Haran arrives at the mountain calling out the Venom Dragon. Jia Gang arrives and meets her. Haran claimed that she will give the antidote only if he beats her in a sparring match. Jie Gang agrees and Bukchan becomes the observer of the match. In the beginning, Haran completely overpowers Jie Gang. She thinks that he is not capable of becoming her husband. But just then, Jie Gang unleashed his full power. He starts giving Haran a tough time. Jie Gang also reads the movements of Haran's whip and is able to dodge the attacks. However, she is also an expert in close combat. Even after taking several hits, the Venom Dragon does not give up. Haran is amazed by his determination. She remembers in a flashback how she wanted to be the head of the Tang family, just like her grandmother. However, her fate is now different. She was about to punch Jie Gang but stops. She admires him and then admits defeat. After admitting defeat, she reveals her real purpose for visiting. She requested the Venom Dragon to become her spouse and return to the Tang clan. Everyone is shocked hearing this. However, Jie Gang refused and asked for the antidote. He consumed the antidote and realized it was poison. Next, we see Manhwa ordering people in the Tang clan to prepare the deadliest poison to exist. He claims that the Qingcheng sect will soon cease to exist and plans something sinister. Meanwhile, Bukchan visits the senior Taoist Muam. Muam claims that he feels a big storm is coming. Bukchan suggests that Muam should make a decision about the situation. Meanwhile, Jia Gang explains his story and connection with Manhwa to Haran. He asks her about the poison production details of the Tang family. Jie Gang then confirms that it is Mang who is behind the anti-poison pills. He then discusses this with Yu Hua and comes to the conclusion that it is possible that the Tang clan is making a poison that can work on everyone, even the toughest of masters. Then we see that Hades has kept a master as his prisoner. He approaches him. Hades claims that he is free to go. However, the only one standing in the way will be Hades himself. The master uses his moves on Hades, but he defeats him with just his internal energy. Hades strikes him with poison. The master thought he can cleanse it with internal energy, however. It only worsened the effect and he died. Hades laughed horrifically. Meanwhile, Jaegong is taking a bath when Haran approaches him. As they talk, Jaegong agrees to be her spouse just to get inside the Tang clan and know what is going on. Haran blushes and agrees. Then, at the Emie sect, it is shown that Mang approaches Mio-Wol. Mang shares the pain of Mio-Wol by revealing that he was also in a state of pain due to the Venom Dragon. The Emie sect leader also arrives. Mang reveals that with the support of the Tang clan and hopefully the Emie sect, they will erase Ching off the map. It appears the Emie sect supported it. Meanwhile, Jaegong and Haran prepare to leave. Yu Hua, Soso, and everyone bids them farewell and wish them good luck. On the way, they plan to stay at a hotel when it became dark. There was only one room available and Haran blushes. Jaegong sleeps on the floor. As time passed, Haran couldn't sleep well. She asked Jaegong to tell her about himself and his past. As Jaegong explained everything, Haran shivers listening to all the pain he has gone through. As they resume their journey, she wishes that Jaegong feels happiness at some point in his life. Meanwhile, Mang cures the poison of Mio. He reveals the wedding to the leader of the Emie sect. She is also interested and now wants to visit the wedding. Next, we see Jaegong and Haran arrive at the Tang clan establishment. As they enter, Lady Haran is taken to her room and asked to wear a beautiful wedding dress. Jaegong goes to his room, however. He is approached by Mang. Jaegong is furious at first, however, he settled down his killing intent and provoked Mang. Just then, Mang Ryo called out to Mio-Wol. She attacked Jaegong for her revenge. However, Mang stopped her, claiming this was not the right time. Jaegong expressed that he will now make everything uninteresting for Mang. He's then called by Hades. He enters the hall and is greeted by Haran's adoptive parents. Jaegong eats as if he was famished. However, he is angry at something. Just then, Hades arrives along with the Emie sect leader, Yun. Hades is impressed by how Jaegong is able to detect the little killing intent of the members. He then orders the soldiers to attack him. In the meantime, Hades and Yun discuss taking down the Ching sect. Just then, Jaegong defeats all the soldiers. Haran then arrives in her bridal look.
Hey there once again, make sure you subscribe for more quality content.